Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Only one thing could have gone better here, and that would have been him calling your cell while standing in front of you. That would have been truly epic, OP. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Seriously, dude, I don't work here. Today's tale comes from a small-town store known as Epitome Purchase with their giant yellow tag logo. Dramatis persona. Me, John Cho. Clueless old man, John Cleese. Clueless old woman, Joan Rivers. Obnoxious idiot, John Goodman. It was Thursday, that blessed day in which I'm not a slave to the whims of idiots and the vagaries of the world of auto sales. A day where I was the master of my own destiny and the lord of my realm. I was entering the Blue Dungeon, looking for a specific magical item to vanquish my latest foe, the loathsome Terraria server. The only item I needed was the quick RAM plus 4 gigabytes, and I was in a rush, so I declined shopping at my preferred outlets, the fine internet retailers of Fresh Ovum or the South American rainforest and river. I worked my way through hordes of lower-level foes only to hear a cry for help from a couple who had looked like they'd seen their fair share of adventures before me. He desperately waved me over, and I looked around hoping to spot a guardian of Blue Dungeon. Not seeing anyone, I walked over, dressed in my black peacoat of Cold Resist +1, my gray slacks of Holding, and a slightly obscured t-shirt of Text +2. Bonus to humor. Clueless old man. Do you work here, sir? Me. So sorry, but no. I have a few moments to kill before my order's ready, so I can probably answer a few questions. Clueless old woman. We want to get a laptop for my son's college, and we don't know how many Googlo bits or teramites it has. His list is here. Will this work with his programs? Me, looking over the document. Yes, it should. A worker should be available soon, but this or this would both work. At that moment, I heard an imperious cough from behind me. Standing there in all his glory, a level 91 ham beast with a smartwatch if I probably broke it but will blame the employee was glaring at me. The older couple scurried away as his gaze fell upon them. Then he did what I hated when I worked for Blue Dungeon. He snapped his fingers and pointed at the defunct smartwatch. Obnoxious idiot. So you think you can sell me a broken watch? Nice try, little jerk. I want you to process this return since you're the one who effed me over to begin with. Me. Sir, I don't know who you are, and I really don't give a crap. I don't work for Blue Dungeon. Go return it at customer service like a normal human and leave me alone. I'm trying to shop. OI. I saw you help those old folks. Do the return or I'll have your job. Me. Seriously doubt you'd want my job. I have to deal with obnoxious morons like you all day. OI sputtering. You can't talk to me like that. I want your effing manager right the F now, you fat little crap. Me, stealing a line from Boondock Saints. Certainly illustrates the diversity of the word. Sorry, you're out of luck. My manager's back at work. Here's his card in case you want to call. I hand OI a business card and walk to the front and pick up the quick RAM I ventured out to get. On the long ride home, I get a call on my business cell phone. As expected, it's OI. Me. Hello, this is OP at company. How may I help you? OI. Yes, I'd like to call and complain about your obnoxious employee of Blue Dungeon. He cursed me out and refused to serve me. Me, leading him on. That's unfortunate, really. I'm surprised that he would do such a thing. OI. All I wanted was for him to return a smartwatch that I bought from him. Me. Oh, really? Because this is company, not Blue Dungeon. He is me, the owner of company. I told you I didn't work there, but you just wanted your little tantrum. So here, I guess this is what you wanted, though. OP, you're fired. Turn in your tools and ID badge. Oh, wait, nope, still don't care. Have a nice day. Or not. And I hung up on him. The quest for the server of Terraria was complete, and I gave myself some bonus XP after my random encounter. By XP, I mean I made some pancakes. And our second story. If I had the tools, I'd do it myself. I've been working in a local electronics repair shop for the last 4 years. I try to work on a little bit of everything. If it runs on electricity and it's small enough to fit on a workbench, I'm happy to tear into it and try and figure out what the problem is. I primarily work on phones, tablets, and laptops, but I think expanding into other devices is important just to add a little economic diversity in the cash flow. Much of the work I do on other electronics involves soldering. The kind of soldering I tend to do is far and above what most people have probably done around the house. As an example, soldering Christmas lights back together with a crusty, corroded Radio Shack iron is a far cry from soldering 40 AWG-enabled copper wire on the exposed remnants of a copper trace under a microscope. You need some fairly expensive equipment to even have a chance at working on things at this small of a scale. If I have to take something apart and solder something under a microscope, I charge a flat rate of $75. Doesn't matter if the job takes me 5 minutes or an hour. The point of a flat rate is once I open a device and assess the damage, I'm already committed to repairing it at that point, regardless of what I have to do to make that happen. Most people don't argue with this price, others do, and wow, do they like to argue. About a year ago, this guy had a very expensive, some $400 or something, GPS. He was a trucker, and this GPS was specially made for trucking. You could plug in all sorts of data about your truck, the weight, the size of the trailer, etc., and the GPS would plot a route through all the necessary checking stations en route for saving time. It was pretty fancy. He broke the USB port on it because he kept fiddling with the cable. It quit working, and he decided to continue jamming the cable in forcefully, expecting that to somehow fix it, and it just broke the port clean off the board. He called in and asked if we could fix it. The dialogue was as follows. Me: hello, this is Store Name. What can we do for you today? CB: do you guys work on GPS units? Me: not usually, but we're happy to look at it for you. What's wrong? CB: the charger port broke. Me: if that's the case, we charge a flat rate of $75. CB: $75? Now, me being someone who's been doing this work for a while, I started prepping to go nuclear. Choosing beggars are common in many industries, and there's certainly no lack of them in the field of electronics repair. CB: why is it $75? I looked the part up online, it's like $2. Me: well, sir, the replacement port will need to be soldered to the board. We have all the necessary equipment here to do that. CB: yeah, but it's only a $2 part. Why is it so expensive? Me: well, like I said, we have to solder it under a microscope. CB: see, I also looked up how to do this on YouTube, and the guy in the video did it in like 5 minutes. It's not that hard. Me: in my experience, a lot of those videos are kind of fake. They usually record a dozen repairs and pick whichever one took the least amount of time for show. CB: I just don't understand why you charge so much. People on YouTube can do it in 5 minutes, and the part's only $2. Didn't look that complicated. I'd do it myself if I had one of them soldering thingies. This is where the conversation coalesced into a beautiful crescendo where I could finally deliver the ultimate verse. Me: well, sir, you're more than welcome to come down and use my equipment. You can sit right at the workbench and work on it all day if you want. I won't charge you a penny. This is true power. This felt amazing to say, and I said it with a smug, crap-eating grin. CB: oh, well, I don't know, I might screw it up. You don't say. Me: okay, well, for me to fix it, it's $75. CB: what are your hours? Yada yada, the guy came down with the GPS and I took his information down, but does the choosing beggar saga end here? Oh no, of course not. I fixed it up that same day, and wouldn't you believe it, every single pad was lifted from the board and I had to run 4 jumpers to fix it. Just for spite's sake, I took pictures through my microscope eyepiece to show him how bad it was and what I did to fix it. After verifying it worked, I epoxied it so the port would have a little extra structural integrity. I called him and let him know it was done and ready for pickup. He came down to get it and... CB: so what'd you have to do? Me: I'm glad you asked. I took some pictures to show you. The pictures weren't very pretty, but I explained each one. Here it was before I took the old port off. Here it is after the port was removed. Here's the entire area cleaned of solder and traces exposed with micro jumpers ran to the pins for the new port. Finally, here's the new port soldered to the board with the jumpers soldered. For the final blow, I also included a picture of the wire I was using, 40 AWG, right next to a strand of my very own hair. I wanted to show him. This is why it's $75, because you're paying for my time and expertise, not a $2 part. Alas, my pictures and explanations fell on deaf ears. All he had to say was, well, people like hearing cheaper prices more than expensive ones. He begrudgingly paid the $75 and walked out the door with his now functional GPS, that I had every single truck route he needed to save in it. I literally saved this man's livelihood by fixing this for him. As an ending note, he called a week later asking if we could fix the screen on that GPS. As luck would have it, the guy dropped the GPS almost a week after I'd fixed it and broke the screen. And also, as luck would have it, I couldn't find a replacement. No, I wasn't lying to him. I really couldn't find one. I guess that's karma. And our last story. Vegan Karen demands neighbors stop using meat on their barbecue due to smell. Frustrated vegan Karen is so fed up with her two neighbors, she's taken them to court over the meat and smoke smells coming from their barbecue. The woman said she couldn't enjoy her backyard, claiming her neighbors deliberately allow their barbecue meat and fish smells to waft into her yard. They put it there so I smell fish. All I can smell is fish. I can't go out there, Karen told the news. Karen's been embroiled in a battle with Mr. Neighbor, his wife, and children since late 2018. After her claims were rejected this year on lack of evidence, she applied to the Supreme Court of Western Australia for right of appeal. She was also turned down in July. Her lawyer said going to the Supreme Court was an extreme option, but it hadn't stopped Karen from further appealing the case. In an interview with a local newspaper, she said she believes her neighbors were absolutely deliberate in allowing their smells to cross into her yard. And it's not just the smell of meat and fish that's made her furious, it's the smell of cigarettes and the sound of children playing with basketballs. It's been devastating, it's been turmoil, it's been unrest. I haven't been able to sleep, Karen said. Mr. Neighbor said he just wanted to keep the peace and had removed the barbecue out of his yard and also banned his children from playing basketball. Karen also complained about the neighbor who lives on the other side of the Neighbor family. The neighbor who wanted to remain anonymous said Karen's demands were proven to be not reasonable and indeed were to the detriment of the other owners' ability to enjoy their lots in a reasonable and acceptable manner. The legal battle isn't over as Karen vows to return to court to continue the fight against her neighbors. Mr. Lawyer said the first step in any dispute with your neighbors was to try and resolve the matter face to face. He said if you don't do it like that, you're going to be up for a world of misery. Karen said she just wanted to live her life in peace. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.